Welcome to NATOR'S Game Picks, ladies and gentlemen. Week 10 in the books. We got Week 11 coming up. Let's go ahead and look at the scores from Week 10. I got 9 games right, 5 games wrong. The 5 games I got wrong, I had the Giants over the Panthers. Panthers won. I had the Bears over the Patriots. Patriots won. I had the Falcons over the Saints. Saints beat them, snapping a 7-game losing streak. And then the Commanders, I had the Commanders over Steelers. Steelers won that one in a thrilling game. And then I also had the Jets over the Cardinals. Cardinals dominated the Jets at home. Overall record of 101 and 51. Week 11. Week 11 teams on bye is 4 teams: the New York Giants, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Carolina Panthers, and the Arizona Cardinals. As we have 14 matchups of football to review real quick. And let's go ahead and check them out. All right, guys, season's flying by. Let's go ahead and look at Thursday Night Football. Last week's Thursday night was a Bengals-Ravens, super thrilling game. Lots of offense. This time around, division opponents again. Commanders at the Eagles. First time they've met this season. Both teams are in position to taking the lead in their respective divisions, as they're the two best teams in the NFC East. Eagles at home here. They beat Dallas last week, and the week before that they beat a Jaguars team. I think they make some mistakes, but they have a lot of talent all across the board. Jalen Hurts is very dynamic with the ball, creating space in the pocket, and delivering a very accurate deep ball has been working well wonders for the Eagles lately. As for the Commanders, rookie quarterback, they just had a tough loss at home against Pittsburgh, a team they could have beat, and now they go in hostile territory and have to defend against a division rival. It's not going to be an easy feat. I think both defenses are playing very good. I think it's going to be Vic Fangio against this Dan Quinn-led defense. And I think the Commanders got to try to keep the Eagles off the field, run the ball, and try to force the Eagles into man-man coverage, which they've been shut down most of the year, the Eagles in man-man coverage. So the Commanders are going to have to beat them right there. Maybe look for Terry McLaurin and get matchups with some of their other players. But with the Eagles at home, I don't see them losing here. I think it's going to be intense penalties and all that good stuff. But I think the Eagles prevail at home of a score of 27-20. Moving on now to the Sunday slate of games. No more games in Germany or London, I believe. So now everyone's playing at their regular home and away sites. We have the Packers at the Bears. This is the oldest rivalry in the NFL. They've played matches dating back to the beginning of the 1900s. Bears at home. That doesn't look really good. They fired their offensive coordinator. Their rookie quarterback Caleb Williams is struggling getting any type of rhythm with his receiving core. The running game has been stagnant, and it's not going to get easier with the Packers team coming off of a bye, which their quarterback has had issues turning the ball over, as this Bears defense has been opportunistic at times, but also had some mental lapses, mental errors at times as well. I think the Packers here are more suited to come into the hostile territory, mute the noise, and get back into the winning ways and stay in the front in this division, which is looking like the best division in all of football, or the NFC. So they need this win. I think they get it against the Bears team, who, unless they play desperate and play control and try to protect their rookie quarterback, as he's been sacked 38 times on the season so far, it's going to be hard. I think the Packers win here on the road, 25-16. Jaguars at the Lions. Lions at home, another NFC North team, going to take care of business. Jaguars had a Mac Jones start last week against the Vikings, early, but couldn't really do much the rest of the game. They lost a disappointing score of 12-7. I'm not sure if Trevor Lawrence is going to be back this game, but it's going to be tough regardless. Their defense is struggling, allowing a lot of total yards, and this Lions offense can hit you from so many different angles. So I think this is going to be a hard, tough matchup, but for Detroit, just taking care of business. I think that Detroit wins at home 38-17. Raiders at the Dolphins. From last week's upset alert, I had the Dolphins over the Rams on Monday Night Football. The Dolphins won. The Dolphins came in there, played tougher, physical got after the quarterback. I think they continue this momentum. They play a 2-win Raiders team who traded a lot of their pieces. Only one good player is a rookie tight end on offense, and a defense that that just lacks the inspiration right now. And I think the Dolphins think they can make a push. They're at home. I see them winning here at a score of 28-16, getting them on a run here, and maybe Tua in this offense led by Mike McDaniel can make something shake into this postseason run here in late in the year. Browns at Saints. Browns are another 2-win team playing against the Saints, who just won their 3rd game of the season, snapped a 7-game losing streak. Derek Carr and Mario Valdez-Scantling was instrumental to that last week in their win over the Falcons. Now playing a Browns team that has a good defense, but offensively hasn't gotten into a rhythm much at all. Their chance of winning this, I think, will be getting Nick Chubb going in the run game. Other than that, I think the Saints defense play more inspired at home here, and who knows, maybe they try to make a run, as the Falcons may collapse down the road, and the Buccaneers are under 500 as well. So a win here for the Saints may not be bad, as they have a bye week coming up soon as well. So I think the Saints win at home of a score of 24-17 over the Cleveland Browns. Now the Ravens at the Steelers. This is the first time they've met in all the season. This is like I said, the NFC North was one of the best divisions in football. In the AFC, I would argue that the North division there too is of the best ones. These two teams are top of the division currently. I think the Steelers are currently leading the division. They're playing at home. They traded for Preston Smith. They have Mike Williams catch a game-leading touchdown last week from Russell Wilson, who's delivering the ball with ease, especially those deep balls that he's known for. And the Ravens here have been torched on secondary. They beat the Bengals last week, but they gave up almost 500 yards of total offense, most of it through the air. This is an area where the Steelers can torch them, as they have tall receivers that can make jump ball contested catches, and they have underneath speedsters as well. Deontay Johnson, comeback game for him, who plays for the Ravens. But honestly, I'm not sure if his role is going to be as big as it ever was in Pittsburgh, guys. I feel like the Ravens rely more on Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers, and even Rashad Bateman, who's having one of his best years since he came into the league in 2021. So the Steelers at home here, I think their defense makes a little bit more plays in the end. Lamar Jackson's going to fight until all zeros on the clock, and he's going to always be in the position to give the Ravens a win. But I think it's just a tough task here against the Steelers defense. I think this score prediction is kind of a little bit crazy too, because I don't think the Steelers give up 30 points at home. But the Ravens are pretty good, and they can attack you in the run game, and Lamar can be so creative outside the pocket. And I think the Steelers can match their scoring if that's how it's going to look. Although I would expect the defensive game, I can see this being somewhat of a shootout, because the Ravens give up a lot of points. Their defense has been struggling, despite a somewhat high pressure rate. And the Steelers' defense has always had like a bend but don't break philosophy. I think the Steelers at home win by 1 point, 31-30. And what's going to be probably the most entertaining game in the first window of games here. So be looking forward to that one. Vikings at the Titans. Vikings escaped with a win against the AFC South opponent last week in the Jaguars. 12-7, looked very sluggish. Sam Darnold, 3 red zone interceptions, all while targeting Justin Jefferson. You got to find a way to use other players in the red zone when the defense is keying on your most valuable offensive player. So I would say that's somewhat bad play calling. And then, of course, Darnold in his head, it's like, I got to give the ball to my best player. Against the Titans team, this could be a trap game. And this could be a potential upset alert, but I don't think they go into Tennessee and lose. The defense is playing very well. The Titans don't have much to work with unless they get a running game going. But be looking out for this one. I think the Aaron Jones went out late in the injury after he had like 4.5 yards to carry on 19 carries. So Cam Akers was getting some touches for the Vikings backfield. The Vikings need to stop turning the ball over. As they play a Titans team who's among the worst in the league in turnover differential, you definitely don't want to be giving them more turnovers, helping the Titans' turnover differential favor in this game, as it could definitely be a trap game. But I do think they win on the road in Tennessee on a score of 21-13. Moving now on, we have the Colts at the Jets. The Jets are currently 3-7. Colts lost last week. There are questions about going back to Anthony Richardson, as Joe Flacco has started the last 2 games and really performed poorly, as his first play of the game was a pick 6 to Taron Johnson last week at home against Buffalo. Jonathan Taylor, excellent player, but he can't do it all by himself. Just like when they get in the red zone, they can't convert. I think this is a game where they need, if they want to stay in the playoff hunt. I feel like if they lose, their coaching staff looks pretty bad because now they've been losing with a veteran and not with their rookie quarterback. But the Jets are no better. I feel they're also kind of a mess, as they're paying for a veteran quarterback millions, a big contract, and don't have no one behind them to fix their problems, as they've always struggled with the quarterback. And their defense, although been playing very good in the first 8 weeks of the season, the last couple of weeks have been looking pretty bad. So the Colts could take advantage of that on the road, as they need a win. I think the Colts do win here, 29-23 on the road against the Jets. Falcons at the Broncos. Broncos at home hosting a Falcons team. Broncos coming off a devastating loss last week. Blocked field goal in the late seconds to take the lead and win the game against Kansas City. Kansas City prevails. Broncos, Bo Nix had the game of his career. No picks, 2 touchdowns. One to Cortland Sutton, a beautiful pass down the sideline. I think they have to take advantage of the Falcons' defense here as well, as they have one of the lowest pressure rates in the NFL, the Falcons do. So the Broncos can get the ball out quick, get their young quarterback in a rhythm, and try to run the ball against this Falcons team as well. As the Saints, Alvin Kamara had a pretty good day last week against this team. I think the Broncos at home here should win this game. I think the Falcons are in that NFC South that isn't as good. They're still in the lead if they lose, but the Broncos need to win to keep up with the Chargers and the Chiefs and other teams fighting for wildcard spots in the AFC playoff race. So I think the Broncos at home have good chances here to win. I think they win a score of 33-24. Seahawks at the 49ers. This will be the second time they've played in the year. I know it's hard to beat a team twice. The Seahawks have... It's been a long time since the Seahawks have beat the Niners. I want to research that for you guys. But the Niners here at home just got Christian McCaffrey back. Brock Purdy had the best game of his career last week against the Buccaneers. When he's not pressured in the backfield, he delivers the ball with ease and in rhythm, on point, and very accurately. And Ricky Pearsall, the rookie receiver, is starting to get into his own, as Brandon Ayuk is lost for the year. And they have Juwan Jennings and Deebo Samuel. And George Kittle, who is their red zone target right now, who looks like he's going to have over 10 receiving touchdowns before the season ends. But the Niners are also trying to get into that playoff hunt. They're sitting right there on the bubble right now, like a 6-7 seed. But they want to keep that or improve it. They have to beat a division opponent here at home. I think they win. I think they beat Seattle at home with a score of 30-18. As Seattle just coming off the bye, they're going to have to show me something. This is the game where they have to show me something in order for me to think that they can overcome poor performance, as they've been very inconsistent after a 3-0 start. We have the Chiefs at the Bills. This is definitely the game of the week. I think this is Bills at home here, hosting the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs. Now, this is my upset alert of the week. Even if the Chiefs have won, I think it's 7 games so far, 7 one-score, one-possession games have been their wins. But I remember just like Jameis Winston's senior year at Florida State, people were saying they shouldn't be the number 1 team, but they were the reigning champs, and you find a way to win, even if you're playing the Citadel or Jacksonville State. You still have to win the game in the end, and don't matter how you get it done. And this is what this Chiefs team reminds me of, as their defense, coached by Steve Spagnuolo, looks scarier than ever. And I think the Bills here at home, yes, they're at home, but it's an upset because the Bills have always kind of, the Chiefs have been their kryptonite in the last several years, especially in the Josh Allen era in Buffalo. So this will be a huge win if Buffalo can knock off the undefeated streak of the Chiefs and potentially set themselves up for a good seed. They want to be the number 1 seed. They have to win out, and they hand the Chiefs a loss, and that to account for one more team maybe beating them. But I think if they control their destiny, they take care of this. And it's going to be one heck of a game. I hope it's clean. I hope there's not a lot of flags, and we'll see how it goes. I expect the Bills to try to run the ball just as much as I think the Chiefs are going to try to run the ball, as these two teams are very physical. I think the upset of the week goes to the Buffalo Bills at home, 26-23. Bengals at Chargers, Sunday Night Football. We have Sunday Night Football. The Chargers, a game in LA. They looked very good lately. Justin Herbert has a streak of consecutive games without throwing an interception. That may come to an end in this game if he's going to force some passes. As the Bengals are playing desperate ball right now, they also want to be in that wild card spot. chasing like the Broncos and the Chargers are. They're playing a team now that would be in that 5, 6, 7 seed in the Chargers. So I think that's what they need to come out here and play their best football, some of their best football. And the Chargers, I can see them taking care of business at home. But there's just something about this Bengals team led by Joe Burrow. This is a matchup of two 2020 quarterback draft picks, Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow. But I think this is the one. This is the game where I think the Bengals don't make a mistake late or goes for it on fourth down when they probably shouldn't. So I think that they upset I wouldn't upset, but I think they come into the LA and I think they get the win here, a much needed win and one that keeps them alive in the playoff race. And the Chargers, a win here also would help them as well. So very very big game early in the late year in November. So I think the Bengals win on the road 31-28. Now Monday Night Football, we got the Texans at the Cowboys, the Texas Bowl, the Houston at Dallas. Dallas is at home. Not a day game, so no need to request curtains being pulled over here. But the Texans are pressuring the quarterbacks at a very high rate this season. Danielle Hunter, great addition for them. Will Anderson, questionable to play though, so we'll see if he can can play this game. Cowboys are struggling up front. Dak Prescott is going to be out for the rest of the season with a hamstring surgery being performed. CJ Stroud also has not looked the best in the last couple of weeks. Good first half last week against Detroit, but a poor second half had them falling short. I expect the Texans to, with a heavy dose of Joe Mixon, as this Cowboys rush defense is one of the worst in stopping it. And I think they look at matchups against the Cowboys safeties. Maybe Dalton Schultz gets one of those revenge games. So, but who knows? I think Nico Collins is still out. So Tank Dell and John Mechie, whom they drafted, who looked good last week, had himself his first career touchdown. But they're gonna have to use more than that to take advantage of this Cowboys secondary. But either way, I think this could be a fun game in the beginning. But I just don't think the Cowboys have enough to stop enough good quarterback play to get the ball out and move the ball upfield and convert in the red zone, as they're one of the worst teams in the red zone, and to prevent this pass rush from getting home. It's going to be very tough for the Cowboys to overcome this, and they played pretty poor at home most of the year. So I think the Texans on the road win the Battle of Texas this time, as last time they got close as well when they were a pretty bad team. So I think Texans win on the road here, a needed win for them as they've lost 2 in a row. I think they beat the Cowboys with a score of 34-17 on Monday Night Football. So that's the 14 matchups for Week 11. Next week, Week 12, we have 6 teams on byes, but we'll get to that once Week 11 is done. Commanders at Eagles, Thursday Night Football, first matchup. So yeah, go ahead and enjoy the football, guys, and I'll see you guys on the next one.